Okay, well, definitely proud of our football team. We hung in there on a rough night and just continued to play for 60 minutes and found a way to win, so that's the great part. And I thought our defense, which I thought was playing well the last couple of weeks at camp, and they came through for us. Did a great job. Found ways with the help of the crowd noise to push them back at times and get some sacks. And of course, the key touchdown in the end zone was the critical touchdown that kind of got us over the hump, and then we found a way to hit a run at the end. So it was just a good win. So I'm proud that we hung in there. A lot to learn from it. I need to do a better job against the blitz package that we saw today. It was a heavy, extensive blitz package, bringing the heat in the house, and hadn't seen it a whole lot on video, but they were going to play feast or famine, and they got to us quite a bit. So those are things that we got to learn from on offense and find a better package for that. But to get a win with it is good. So our guys played hard, and even though things weren't going our way, our receivers blocked at the end, our tight ends and our O-line blocked, and our runners ran hard. It was just a tough night for us overall.
Jeff, obviously the point of bringing in transfers is to have that veteran experience and leadership, but I mean, how valuable has Klepp been early on?
Well, he's done a great job. I think we do have some veterans, and even the ones that have been here have really improved and stood out and done a great job, and the newcomers have stepped in and been great teammates. So to me, that was the key to our victory. This was not our best night of football by any means, but defensively, man, we did some really good things, and we were on the field a long time. Offensively, like I said, we've got to get better, but to come out with a win in a game that we knew would be tough because we really haven't been challenged before, and we saw some different things, but I was proud of our team. So they came through and played hard to the end, and that's the sign of a team that really wants to win.
That blitz package seemed to frustrate your run game early and often. How did it affect your play calling, and then going back with Isaac Brown late in the game to kind of seal it with a run?
Well, it did. It got to us now. When you're bringing everybody and you're bringing more than you can block, and then when we tried to get to some quick game, they sat on them and almost returned one for a touchdown. So they were dialed in on being aggressive, and then luckily we popped a big pass and we popped a big run. And really, when teams are selling out, you've got to hit big plays. You're not going to get chunks of yards throughout the game. You just got to find a way to not get too many negative plays and then hit a couple big ones. So there's a lot we can learn from it, but we did hit a few that helped us get some points, and we definitely can play better, but I do think that we stuck together for the entire game.
Jeff, what did you see when you were recruiting Isaac Brown, and then what have you seen since he's been on campus here for 15 games, allows him to make these unbelievable big plays?
Well, I've seen what you've seen. He's done some incredible things. We knew he was athletic when we recruited him, but he's a quiet young man, and how people adjust and fit into the speed of the college game, you're not for sure. And if you go back to last year, I didn't really play him the first 3 or 4 games a whole lot, and because I'm always worried about a true freshman adjusting to the speed of the game, and then he started to get his feet wet, and here he goes and took off, and he just continued to get better and better. He's got a great feel. He's got good toughness for somebody who's not real big. He's slippery. Now, they had a lot of bodies in there, so he got hit quite a bit, but we found a way to just get on the edge a couple times, and when he got some space, that's when he's dangerous. So he definitely helped us win the football game, and he's a great weapon to have.
Yeah.
Jeff, 2 games in, where would you say you guys are offensively in terms of continuity and just kind of being on the same page?
Well, this was a unique game. I mean, we were not expecting to see the heavy dose of all-out blitz coverage. So that's on me for not having a better plan. We went to some things, had a couple miscues in the checks. They sat on a few routes, and all of a sudden you're scared to throw it short. You got to throw it deep, and then next thing you know, you're getting hit. So I think we just got to have a better plan and answer for that. Throughout the season, do you normally see that type of pressure? Probably not, but I'm sure we'll see it now to a certain degree. But you got to be able to answer and to create big plays. When you do that, it'll back them off. But they were selling out, and they knew that this was a huge game for them, and they were going to bring the house and hope that they hit quite a bit, and they did. But luckily, our defense played good. We made it just a couple big plays to help us.
Jeff?
Yeah, coach, just talking about the defense, they made some plays in the backfield, a ton of sacks, and that last goal line stand, just talk about that and what they meant to you, seeing that tonight.
Well, it was great. I thought for sure they would run the ball. They got down to the one there, but I thought we were really good versus the pass for the most part. We gave up one or two up the field, but they were on the field a lot. So I just think our defense, like I said, I had a feeling in camp that these guys are really starting to gel and they understand the package. I think we got some good weapons at a lot of the positions. We have some depth. The D-line can be disruptive. Our linebackers have experience. Unfortunately, Stan Quan went down, so that's unfortunate. So we'll have to figure out a way to move on from there. But it's great to build on, and I think they've raised the bar now, which I told them after the game. They did a great job, but you raised the bar. And then on offense, we just got to continue to improve and figure out ways to not allow that to happen.
Anything else for Jeff?
I got one. Go ahead. Coach, how challenging was it dealing with the two quarterbacks that they kept on rotating in and out? I mean, two different styles of quarterbacks as well. How challenging was that to jump?
Well, I thought for the most part we did a good job. The one quarterback was more of a power runner, and I'm telling you, when you got a power runner, it really puts a lot of stress on the defense because they got an extra blocker now. So that package they have is really good, and especially when the game's close and they have a lead, it's really good to use, especially when you can do that. So they did, and they fed off that, and fortunately we were able to kind of get a lead and take them out of a little bit. But they did a good job. I mean, they got good players. They'll have a really good season, but the plan they had was really good, and I think they played really efficient football on offense, at least not turning it over and keeping it close. On defense, they sold out and were aggressive, and they had a lot of success with it.
Last two, Alexis, Michael.
Jeff, you mentioned Stan Quan. I guess what have you heard so far as how he's doing? Is that just kind of a lower leg, or what's a quick update, obviously?
Well, we'll know more tomorrow, but I could see him being out for an extensive period of time.
You've said in the past you don't like open weeks, but your thought as you do enter your first open week of the season, what you're going to use for that week?
Well, we're going to do what we normally do, which is get the guys healthy and fresh. It's only after 2 weeks. I don't love that, but that's our schedule. But the fact is we've won, and there's a lot to learn from this win. And so I just think that doing that and having a package ready that can identify and be good versus everything, and have some adjustments that may be a little bit more successful will be the emphasis. I think we can put our heads together and go to work on that. And I think on defense, we did a good job. We got to build on it. We got to know, how can we improve and change things up and be aggressive? Because that's what kind of happened tonight. This defense that we went against has not shown that a whole lot. They were aggressive. They did new things. I think in order to be a really good team, you've got to have some creativity every week. And even though you got to have base plans, you got to change things up and go for the win. And if you do that, you have a good chance.